What's one dream you've always had but never pursued? Why is it a dream for you, and what is stopping you from pursuing it? What does your ideal Tuesday look like? What are you doing? Who are you with? How are you spending your time? When are you doing work? What sort of work are you doing? When are you hanging out with friends? If you were to imagine your funeral, and at your funeral, this is us trying to figure out where you want to go with your life. This is a big ass question. It's really, really, really hard. Imagine you've achieved everything you've ever wanted. Imagine you've achieved everything you've ever wanted. How have you changed as a person? You can't do everything that you want. And so it's worth really drilling down to what do you actually want? What is the goal? What is the North Star? What are we trying to do here?
Ali Abdaal terrifies me. Ali Abdaal terrifies me, but I love him at the same time. See, when I watch Ali Abdaal, I feel a lot of fear because I see him as a symbol for how meaningless life really is. And I don't mean in a derogatory way. I think that's the reality of it, that life is inherently meaningless. There isn't a specific reason for us to be here. We're just here to exist. And for those of you who don't know who Ali Abdaal is, well, Ali Abdaal is a productivity guru, and he's kind of a bad boy because he repackages and reships and regurgitates the same message and the same content over and over again. And he terrifies me because my whole life I've been obsessed with trying to create something meaningful, whereas his work to me just points to an abyss of emptiness, where most of the time my mind is able to keep me distracted and occupied from that reality. But whenever I come across his content, it just kind of pierces straight through that illusion. And notice the words that I'm using here, because while he pisses me off, I think he's actually kind of onto something. And I'll go more into that later, but I have a few more things to say. And one of those things is that I do love him. I love him because I think he's like a big cuddly jelly. I call him a jelly, it's because he has like no distinct form or shape. There's nothing particular or specific about his appearance. He reminds you of meal replacement supplements like the ones he advertises, where they serve a purpose, but we're all kind of hesitant about the purpose they serve, and whether the problem that they solve is really a problem at all. And he explores the subjects of self-development and fulfillment, yet he seems kind of depressed and empty. It feels like his mood hasn't changed since the day he stepped out of his mother's womb. And I think he actually has a secret about his productivity that he's not explaining, he's not being honest about. And that's that he's a master of nofap. In fact, I don't think he's ever nutted in his life. And it's the same with his personality. He's adopted a persona where he's able to be superficial, only just showing the surface of himself, yet at the same time conveying a feeling of openness and relatability. So we now all feel connected to this man who doesn't really exist. And it makes me kind of jealous. He's successfully implanted himself into the mind of millions of people. He's become a cultural icon of the digital age. I think in the future we'll have little Ali AI dolls, ChatGPT Ali mode. They'll check in on you if you're being productive and tell you to focus, you piece of fucking shit, on your work and do it, you fucking cunt. Or maybe he'll be doing meditations on productivity, a little Pomodoro tomato timer productivity, little Sam Harris app on Sam Harris and Ali Abdaal collaborate to bring you elevated stream entry methodology, productive technique. Yes. But then that leads me back to my question, shouldn't AI be addressing human fulfillment subjects? Ali is just a metaphor. He doesn't really exist. He's a product of the cerebral nature of Western culture, where we've all convinced ourselves that we're nothing but a rational mind. He's the antithesis of an artist while still being an artist himself, and he's fully convinced himself they can solve every single one of your problems using the mind. Which is a catch, because the mind is also the thing which creates every single one of our problems. I think one of the unfortunate kind of byproducts of this has been is that we no longer have punks, rock stars, or anyone that's really trying to break the mold. We're all trying to become the same thing, which is a assimilated version of a better self, except we're no longer actually becoming ourselves. Instead, we're all trying to become some kind of refined identity that was formed online. Pick and choose your content creators, life model, and dream that they're selling. Except no one wants to recognize the fact that we're all a bit fucked up, and this truth is actually what creates the potential for us to be unique and bring some value to this information landscape marketplace. If you want to be relatable, then demonstrate that you're not perfect, and that you're actually a bit fucked up and you're working your way through it, rather than trying to sell some fragile, perfectionist dream. But while it all seems kind of dark, I've actually started to notice a kind of beauty to it all. It all kind of functions organically. Each video he releases is like a petal on a flower. They arise spontaneously out of nowhere, and before you're even able to recognize the fact, they've completely disappeared from awareness. And just like his insights, we never remember a single thing said. And I think there's a kind of beauty to that, and I wouldn't really change anything about it. I started off this video thinking about how I can pick Ali apart, and while I think there's some issues that's definitely worth mentioning, I think he's definitely made me realize some of my own ignorance. Whether it's me or Ali, it's all an uncompromising form of escapism. It's an attempt to deal with the fact that there's nothing really left for me to do here. But I can't really deal with that fact, so I create stories to distract myself from that reality. And so while I can criticize him for what he's doing, I'm just doing the same thing but using a different story, a supposedly less superficial one, but also a less profitable one. While I begun this video stating how empty Ali's videos make me feel, I'm genuinely not criticizing him on that part at least. I think he sees clearer through the illusion than I do, and that this emptiness that I was talking about, it actually just stems from myself. And emptiness is also often an easy label for the vague association we have to the actual feeling that's hiding behind that label, which is fear. Rather than latching onto a single meaning of his life, like the output of a single project or a single video, he looks beyond and integrates the different aspects of life into one cohesive experience. And it reaches you, myself, and leads to the output of full circle videos like this.